So Jaelen Phillips getting back on the field after 2 years of basically battling injuries. Talked about it. What did it feel like that first moment back out on the gridiron?
It's just like riding a bike. It obviously feels good, but maybe I'll be a little more emotional or feel a little different way about the actual season. But today it kind of just felt almost like a practice, but just going out there, focusing on the right things, having that mindset to just go around, fly around, do my job, make plays. But it felt good being back in Hard Rock, obviously the fans and all that stuff. But, it wasn't this monumental, oh my God, I've been gone for so long. Obviously it has been a while since I've stepped on the field, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm just so locked into the preparation and what's going on now that I don't really sit around and kind of contemplate about that. But it feels great, though.
Very professional approach from Jaelen Phillips, like riding a bike. I thought he was going to say, oh, man, you get goosebumps, you dream. And then I realized it's a preseason game and it's against the Jaguars and everything else.
You do know that he came back last year and played at least 3 games.
Oh, yeah, he played a couple of games last year. I do understand that. But, maybe I was hoping just to hear this monument. He said, it wasn't this monumental thing. It was a preseason game. I'm out there just trying to do my thing. So, Jaelen Phillips, do your thing. Now, what was it like for Mr. Phillips to get after that quarterback once again?
It was great. Honestly, just to be able to kind of get those season jitters kind of out. Obviously preseason doesn't count, but it's still getting in the process of, game day, getting ready for the game, the emotions that go through it, to be able to go out there in a short amount of time and get that little half sack was a really great feeling. Because we're not looking for the results necessarily, but, obviously it feels good to do that. But more importantly, I just felt, really good out there, felt strong. And it was really fun to play with my guys again.
I thought they looked good. Jaelen Phillips, you heard him. He said get a little bit of that half sack. Chop Robinson got a sack. Good to see Bradley Chubb back out there. Those guys making a big difference. Kenneth Grant sitting out, I'm thinking more as a precautionary rest thing for the rookie. I know he's a little bit banged up. I think they've seen enough of him in this preseason. He's played a lot of the first 2 games and has looked very good, and everyone raves about him. So I wasn't too worried about that, but it's good to get those pass rushers out there. Vlad, you were very impressed with the front 7 last night, which is a good thing, but you were very impressed with what those guys looked like and what they had to offer.
I mean, they've been all the camp, from all reports, they've been the best group out of the team.
Yeah,
like we said, you mentioned earlier, the only part you're not worried about this team at all is the front 4, the front 7, and the skill position players on the outside.
And I even feel as though that front 7 has a little bit of depth. I think guys like Zeke Biggers are going to make the team. I don't know if you've talked to some of the guys that have been at practice, but had they discussed it, some of these draft guys are going to make the team.
Listen, they put up a lot of these guys put a lot of good film out there for them to make the roster. And you also, like I mentioned before, they're looking at other players from other teams that they know that won't be able to make the other team's roster that they can sign. And you can never have more. You can always have more D tackles. You can always have more cornerbacks. You can always have depth. I mean, add depth to the team. You can always have more. So therefore, a couple of these guys, they're probably going to get signed to a practice squad, but they're deep. They're deep at that position. That front 4, and then you signed Judon this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're going to do is they're going to do a rotation. I want to say maybe probably copy the Robert Saleh from the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, who was the Jets head coach. He always liked to bring in waves, the 2 groups. Even with the Giants back in the days when they were going to the Super Bowl, going after Brady, it was always sending multiple defenders. Like there was not one guy is going to play all 3 snaps of that series. They're going to rotate, and that wears down on the offensive line because, offensive line is not like they're switching, tackle and guard and everything like that. But no, when you bring in fresh set of D ends and D tackles, and they're putting a lot of pressure on that quarterback, it helps the secondary that's very limited. And that's pretty much it, bro. I looking at that defense, if the front 4 or the front 7 can get to the quarterback, the secondary won't get torched. But if the offensive line gets to hold that D line, Yeah,
things might get a little ugly.
it's going to get ugly.
The mentality for most defensive line is give us all you got as long as you can, then let us know when you're out of gas and we'll get somebody in there. So I'm thinking that, the more depth, the more better. And we do know this pass rush is going to have to be a key to this team. And even that has been discussed earlier. Jaelen Phillips was asked, has he and the pass rushers kind of talked about the importance that they hold with this team?
Yeah, I mean, we always say that, we got to be the engine, and just in terms of, being that driving factor. Obviously the edge rushing position is a premium position in the league. And so, it's true that if we can come out and have early production, be consistent, have production, that we can really change games. So it's not just us, obviously, but we kind of take it upon ourselves as, our outside linebacker group, the big dogs, we have to be the engine and kind of set the tone. So, I mean, that's really all we talk about, to be honest. Just that mindset that we have, and to be able to be there to lift each other up. We have a lot of leaders on this defense, and, each one is equally responsible. But at the end of the day, like I said, we kind of take it upon ourselves to be that engine and set the tone.
Couldn't put it any better. That front seven is the engine that runs this team. They are going to be crucial to Miami Dolphins' success this year. Like you said, the pass rush, not the pass rush, the secondary, let's be honest, they're kind of, but if you get that front seven getting after people, and I keep using this example, look what the Philadelphia Eagles did to Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest of all time. They made him look like a bad quarterback because they got to him, and they didn't have to blitz. They just got to him. So helps your secondary. What can you do on the offense? Well, good defense helps your offense. The more Tua has the ball in his hand, hope Mike McDaniels could scheme some things up. Right now, Vlad, health is the main thing. The healthiest teams usually have the best seasons, and we got to keep our guys healthy because, like you said, maybe at the front seven we have a little more depth, but you'd hate to lose a Jaelen Phillips again, or a Bradley Chubb again, or a Chop Robinson, or any of those guys. You need all your warriors, but for right now, you have to be pretty happy with it. I mean, Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Chop Robinson, Jaelen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. That's just to name a few. And you got your linebackers getting in there too every once in a while. You got the rookies. You got the other young guys in there. Okay. Anthony Weaver, now it's up to you to scheme things up. He had a top 10 defense last year, and he didn't have a lot last year. This year, you're asking him to have a top 10 defense with even, I would say, less on paper. But you got some guys that are leaders. You heard that word again, Vlad, leaders. We're going to hear that a lot this next 2 weeks, and then hopefully go out there and lead.
I hope they don't OD with that, bro.
Hey, they are. I'll mark it every time. But yeah, so the pass rush knows how important they are to this team. That's good to know. And they said they're going to take it upon themselves. So take it upon themselves and get after that quarterback and stop the run. We got those big guys, Zach Sealer and Kenneth Grant in the middle, to kind of slow down the run. And I've been impressed with what I've seen from Kenneth Grant this preseason to kind of slow down that run. And in the secondary, get them out there, man. Figure it out, guys. That's about all you can do right now. But for the most part, happy to have Jaelen Phillips and those guys healthy and practicing and playing. They said yesterday was like a practice. It was a preseason practice game, basically, but felt good to get out there, get a little bit of run.